So Star Wars Visions was actually a pretty unique take on some concepts for Star Wars, and Bandai Tamashii Nations went out and made some figures based off of Star Wars Visions, and this was based off of the episode called The Twins, I believe. So here we have Karre. Now, is it pronounced Kari, Kare, or Car? I'm gonna go with Car, and I'm sure somebody will correct me if I am wrong, but I'm gonna go with Car. So as you see him displayed through the front of the package there's the side with the little seal of authenticity. Here's the other side. Get the same design box art that we've been getting for SH Figuarts Star Wars since the beginning. And speaking of that, they haven't really made any new SH Figuarts Star Wars in quite some time, other than The Mandalorian and Boba Fett. It seems like they kind of have given up on the movie stuff. They were doing all the prequels, all of the original trilogy stuff for a while, and now they kind of stopped all that. And now they're just doing all the new stuff that comes out, and they cherry pick. So we're not gonna get every single thing from Visions. We're not gonna get everybody from Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian, unfortunately. So if you want a more full, fleshed out roster, you might have to go with Star Wars The Black Series. So he stands just about 5.5 inches tall. This figure is technically a Target exclusive in the United States, but it is available overseas in Japan, which is where I got it, and it's not an exclusive for them. But coming over to the States, the only way you could really get it is through Target. It's on their website where it was. I don't know if it's still available or not. And I think it retailed around 80 something dollars, which is pretty pricey for some characters that showed up in a concept episode on Disney Plus. So I don't know, you really gotta be a big fan of Visions and or that episode specifically to really get into these figures, to spend around 160 bucks for Karre and Am, which is the other sister or the other twin um, that goes with this figure. You really got to get both. Now, if you buy it from Japan, they're about 60 bucks a piece, but after shipping, you're gonna be paying about the same. The only difference is that I am getting it now. Although some people have already found these figures in stores. Target website just hasn't shipped out anything, so if you're going through the website, it might take a little longer, but you might actually luck out finding these guys in stores. So first off, I think it looks pretty cool. I like how slim and slender it is, very accurate to the design of the character, but I am a little disappointed in some of the quality control issues that my specific figure came out of the box with. Something that I'm not really used to seeing on SH Figuarts, but it's a little sloppy, at least with this specific one that I got. So to begin with, we have some paint scratches or marks on his waistband here. I think acetone will take care of that, but still it's a little risky seeing that he's got a little loop here that's painted. I don't want to accidentally erase that, but there's that. And then also on the back side there is a big splatter of dry glue on his butt, which I think comes from that little pouch here, but it's completely dry, which I think acetone can also take care of that. But again, acetone's a little risky because it's so strong that it could even possibly manipulate or even melt away some plastic. So it's risky. It's something you want to rub on for a split second, then rub off, rub on again for a split second, and then rub off one more time. Aside from that, the figure looks pretty good. I like the face plates. He does come with a few. I think it does look like him. They went with some digital printing for the eyes, which look okay, not too bad. And then everything else is pretty basic for his design, which is his design, so they did well with this. And then what's awesome about this release, you can have Karre in two very different looks. We have him uncloaked right now out of the box, and then we have a entirely separate torso to have him cloaked and masked up, looking like Darth Vader almost. And this is just super dope because it's an entire separate torso swap out. No legs, no arms, because you are going to utilize the same arms and same legs here, but we do get a pair of gloves to swap out, and it does go up to his forearms right here, so these will have to be attached there. So we got him in his helmet, cloaked up, looking great. Soft goods cape. We got a bendy wire for the cape, which is something we don't normally see for SH Figuarts. It's nice to see that. So some hardcore fans might end up buying two of these figures because you can get two very different looking cars out of this. And here is his lightsaber hilt painted very nicely, and then his actual blade. We got this very cool blue to white-ish, blue purplish color effect going through the blade there. Looking awesome. I like that. And then here are the other faceplates that he comes with. So one more time, here's the faceplate on the figure itself. It is a normal, neutral, kind of like happy, you know, looking face. And then we get this faceplate here, which is a little bit more dramatic, right? And then we have this one, which is super dramatic. He's a little bit angry in this one. This is your fighting faceplate there. So very cool options there. And of course, we get the pair of fists on the figure. We get a pair of open hands, which would be great for like using the force. And then we get the pair of grabby hands to grab his lightsabers, or his lightsaber, I should say. And then just a regular pair of open hands here. And that's everything that he does come with. And then real quickly, here he is with the lightsaber in hand. You can also kind of make out another QC issue on his wrist here, where there's like a dark bluish black color. I don't know what's going on there. Also, since the figure is so slim and skinny, you do get a big gap here underneath the armpit, around the arms, because that shoulder socket is pretty big, and the actual arm is pretty skinny, and the ball joint's pretty small too, so you get a big gap there that may bug some people, but overall it doesn't look too terrible here with this little simple like force push pose or whatever. Looks pretty okay. Also, be extra careful when you're swapping out the hands because the peg is so small that I fear that some may break there. So be extra careful with that. It gets a little difficult to swap out the hands for sure. Now his head sits on a ball joint, as we all expect with SH Figuarts. He looks up, he looks down, left and right, no problem. Nice head tilting. Neck is a separate articulated piece, so that moves around as well. Helps with the head movement quite a bit. Arms will go all the way up. Not that far, it does angle out a little bit. And then in and out, no problem. Again, that shoulder socket's pretty deep, so you're going to get a lot of range. You can kind of get him going forward like as if he had a butterfly joint. Again, that looks very ugly there. There's a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, swivel at the wrist with a hinge. It is a ball jointed hinge. We have a lower diaphragm joint there, ball joint. So he does go all the way around, swivel left and right. And then as for the waist, there is no other separate waist swivel, at least that I can feel. Really can't tell, but I don't think so. Legs, they don't drop down like they normally do for SH Figuarts, but they do kick forward about this far, which gets a little hindered. I think it should go a little bit further than that, but that's as far as he goes. In and out about this far right here. And we have the thigh swivel. And then we actually, it looks like a single joint, but it is a double jointed knee. So he does kick pretty far back. And then we do get an ankle that hinges forward and back. It does rock and it does swivel. Now here he is with a swapped out torso, and it is entirely a brand new figure. Look at that. That looks awesome. But with this torso attached, we do get a little bit more limited articulation. Arms are going to get hindered by the shoulder parts. Now you could take off the cape if you want, and now you don't have that hindering, but still that looks kind of silly. That's not what you want. You really want him with the cape and everything, so we're going to put that back on. So he will be hindered, but this is pretty dope. So the head on this looks up about this far up, and then it looks down like that, left and right, head tilting. Looks good. I did get the forearms on there, or the gloves, so these don't have any wrist articulation, so you're not going to be able to swivel the wrist or hinge it, but you swivel the entire glove like that, and it kind of moves, but they're just fists. You're not going to be able to hold a lightsaber in there. You're not going to be able to force push somebody. It's just pretty much a vanilla pose type of display, because unless you're punching somebody, fist fighting am or something, this is all you're going to be able to really do here. But overall, this look is so awesome. I think it's, man, I'm having trouble deciding how I'm going to display the figure. I'm really trying not to buy a second one, because I just feel like I don't need a second one from a show that I kind of liked. I didn't even like it like I'm not a super fan, but I liked it enough to get these figures and check them out. I think this looks great though. If there was anyone that could pull this off, it would be SH Figuarts, so I'm glad that they were able to. But as for the cape here, again, bendy wire. So if you want to get a little creative, windswept type of thing, you can, just like this. Pretty dope. This is why we always advocate for bendy wires on capes. I mean, this will always be better than it will always be better than a plastic hard cape any day. So I have not opened up Am yet. She will be the next review, so to get a side-by-side comparison, stay tuned for that review coming up next. Alright everyone, and that's been my review of the SH Figuarts Bandai Tamashii Nations Star Wars Visions Karre, or Karre, however you want to say it. Honestly, I'm actually very impressed with the figure. I think the swap out feature is the definite selling point. If it didn't have that, I would say $80 is pretty damn steep. But with that, um, I think it's justifiable as much as it could be. Again, $80 for this figure is pretty pricey, but I can kind of understand. I think Target, for them to sell, for them to sell SH Figuarts figures, they have to price them super expensive because Hasbro has Star Wars The Black Series, and it's kind of like a conflict of interest, if that makes sense. It's, and that's why they're separated in the displays. You're not going to find these SH Figuarts next to the Black Series, so it has to deal with those licenses and stuff like that. That's all I know. So they're forced to price them that high, so I'm glad that they were able to find a way to kind of justify the price by giving us a swap out torso completely here, and giving us a lot of fun factor and options. I do wish he did come with other alternate hands though for the gloves, so we can have him hold his lightsaber or force push or wield or whatever, do other things than just have him fist. That's probably my only main gripe on this. But you guys let me know down below your thoughts on this figure. While you're down there, hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. As always, everyone, take care, take it easy, and I will catch you on the next one.